So is this
Happy
live?
Wednesday, Wholesale to Million family. What up, you guys? I'm bringing you guys back another powerhouse interview. And today I'm going to have him give you guys some tips, tricks, and strategies so you can take your game to a whole nother level. And you guys, we're going to dive in. We're going to talk about, I'm going to let him start off telling you guys his stories. Some of you guys might have already know him already. Then we're going to get into like how does he find his motivated seller? How does he find his cash buyer? I mean, that's all what we know about. And I want to know is how does he have his company, his business systematized, you guys? So also too is, for those of you who haven't followed me on Instagram, hit me up on IG, go to Khang, Khang dot, like a period, WTM. And if you do enjoy this interview, please, come on, man, smash that thumbs up for me. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. Smash that subscribe button. So you guys put your hand together, put your thumbs together. Help me welcome Steve Trang. What up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? Thank you for having me.
From Phoenix, Arizona, right?
Phoenix, that's right. We service the whole Phoenix market. It's huge, 7 million people.
Dang, dude. Okay, and also to you guys, I want to let you guys know right now, Steve and we're working on a deal right now where if you guys are in, I'll let Steve tell you the area, but if you got any deals that you lock up on a contract, please don't send us no baloney like, hey, Khang, please help me analyze this deal. No, send me deals that you got on the contracts. I'm going to have Steve share with you the area that he's buying it in so Steve can be your cash buyer or he can help you find a buyer for your deals. There is no cost that you will have to pay for me. Steve and I already work out a deal, how I can make money, how you can help, how you can sell your deals or he find buyers, and how Steve can make money as well. But Steve, so what area that they need to send it over?
So we're the entire Phoenix metro market, and Phoenix, it's pretty big. So we say Phoenix, but it's Phoenix, Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, Glendale, Peoria, Chandler, Tempe, Mesa, the whole metro area. What's unique about Phoenix, or not unique, but one of the things about Phoenix is that we're a very well-sprawled city or metropolitan area. So we'll 45 minutes, and for us, 45 minutes an hour is all the way like 40 miles away. So we're willing to drive for deals.
Gotcha. And the thing is, you guys, Steve is a one-stop shop. I'll let Steve get into all of that and share with you guys like the title company and all that. He is a one-stop shop, all right? And if you guys have the deals lock up on a contract, send it over to WTMdeals@gmail.com. WTMdeal, DEALS at gmail.com. And Steve will check out your deals, all right? So Steve, let's get into it, man. Tell everybody your stories. Let's hear it, bro.
Well, I don't know how far back you want to go. I mean, we can start as a story of as an immigrant, or you want to start about a journey just in real estate?
I want to know kind of just a short version, how kind of Steve got here, and how did he start, where were you, and then how did you merge into real estate? Now, Steve, before you get into that, is this your first first like interview, somebody interviewing you?
Not the first one, but definitely the first one by someone of your stature.
You guys,
some of your community.
Yeah, I have so many of you guys ask me already, Khang, bring this guy on, bring this guy on, bring this guy on. Your wish is my command. So we're here. All right, Steve, take the spotlight, dude.
Okay. All right. So just real quick background about me. So, I came here as a refugee. My grandparents, they're from China. Communists took over. My parents came here, and I was born in Italy in a refugee camp because they were on the way here when an Italian Navy ship picked us up. So that's just a little background. Came here as an immigrant, came here to chase the American dream. And then as far as my journey in the real estate, I did all the right things, went to school, went to college, graduated ASU as an engineer, and basically went through that career, got my master's degree, worked in it for 3.5 years, but it just wasn't for me and I wasn't fulfilled. So I was making really good money working 25 hours a week, but it was boring as crap. So I always knew I was going to start my own business. I didn't know what it was going to be. And I met a broker when I was buying rental properties back in 2006. Wasn't a great idea. Fortunately, we got denied the loans because the banks and the market kind of saw we shouldn't be buying these properties at these prices. So I met a broker back in 2007. I said, hey, what you're doing seems pretty interesting. What do you do? He's like, well, I make $100,000 a year and I just talk to people. It's like, that's it? I can do that. And so I jumped in. This is, again, May 2007. Got my real estate license in 2.5 weeks, submitted my 2 weeks notice, quit my steady paying, very secure job to sell real estate. And that was an absolute disaster. I had to learn a lot of things the hard way. I was doing short sales. I was able to get some REO accounts, so I was able to sell properties for banks. And as that market died around 2012, I decided I wanted to shift and start doing my own thing. And this is back in 2012 when I started doing pay-per-click for deals. So back in 2012 when I first started doing that, I was like, I'm doing this. I'm taking all the risks. My broker's not helping me. I'm going to start my own brokerage. Thinking I was going to save money. That's not true at all. So if you're trying to start a brokerage to save money, don't do that. But along the way, as I was kind of wholesaling by accident from 2012 until last year was the first time I got intentional with my wholesaling business.
Awesome, man. So that's back in, so you started like right at January 2018?
April 2018, I partnered up with my buddy Max Jimenez out here. He's a big player in the Phoenix market. He was already wholesaling on his own before we partnered up. So I met him. He was doing wholesaling with another guy as a partnership. And it was interesting. I was talking to him because we stayed in touch. He worked for me as a caller on my real estate team. Then he went to go do wholesale. And I was talking to him. I was like, he was kind of venting. He's like, I got this partnership and this guy, like I'm doing all the calling. I'm talking to the buyers. I'm talking to the sellers. I'm dealing with the contractors. I'm doing all the work. And the guy feels like I shouldn't get more than half. He feels like he should partner up with a third guy who can bring more deals. I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. You're doing the marketing. You're managing the marketing. You're talking to the sellers and the buyers and the contractors. And the guy feels you're not worth half. The guy's like, yeah, I think you're worth half. Partner with me. So I dumped that guy. And then we have a partnership starting April of last year.
Oh man, wow. So Steve, as I was telling you guys at the beginning, this guy's a machine, man. He's like a machine gun. So Steve is a one-stop shop, you guys. If you guys are in the Arizona, if you're doing wholesale, so Steve, share with everybody how many companies you're running right now and how it's going to cover all of the transaction as far as all the wholesale and everything, man.
So the wholesales, for us, our operation, it's pretty simple. I mean, you've seen I've been interviewing all the top players in our market and some players that are flying into the market, into Phoenix to do our interviews. I'm basically just doing everything what the best players are doing, right? There's no reason to invent any new ideas, just tweaking what they've got. So right now, our business is strictly cold calling. We don't do bandit signs. I tell the community, always reach out to me, ask me any questions you got. I'm happy to answer them. But one question I can never answer is bandit signs because we skip bandit signs. We skip bandit signs. We skip direct mail because cold calling is cheap. It is cheap. Why would I do anything else? Once we maximize cold calling, then we'll start talking about spending real money. But it is not expensive to get into cold calling. Compared to running a traditional real estate business, it is really easy to spend 20, 30, 40,000 running a traditional real estate team. It's a tenth to run a wholesaling business. So for us, we just buy a list and cold call, and that's it.
Gotcha. So now I'm going to get into that, Steve, but I was telling everybody that you're a one-stop shop, man. So could you tell everyone kind of all the company you're running right now and how that is going to work for them if they just come to you?
So yeah, that's kind of crazy, right? So I own a brokerage, Stunning Homes Realty. We're a boutique brokerage. We don't even have 100 agents. I think we just got to 94 a couple of days ago. But we're still trying, and we got 1% market share. So with just our handful of guys, we've got 1% market share. So we got the brokerage. So if anyone's licensed, we can help them and coach them with a traditional business and wholesale business. I got my traditional real estate team because there are people that don't want cash offers. So we'll list them. And then we got our wholesaling operation, and that's why I partnered up with Max. So he runs our wholesale operation. He's the one that manages all the callers. And then he's the one that's talking to the sellers. So he's our acquisition / accountability partner / pulling data / skip tracing guy, right? He runs the operation, and I couldn't think of a better partner for that. We also got our flip side. So Max is also part of the flipping operation. And then we got the title company, which, for us, we didn't like having someone else working our title stuff. So we just said, screw it, we're just going to open our own title company. And we were able to do that because I own a brokerage, right? So because I own a brokerage, I can command enough data pull to just say, hey, how the way you guys are doing it, we're just going to open our own title company. And then we got the app. So we get the app for wholesaling. So if you got a property, that's another place to post it. So we got anything and everything. If it's real estate related, I've got a solution for you.
You guys, dude, man, this is definitely a higher version of me, bro. Because Steve is a freaking machine gun. I mean, look at all dude, I'm right now, it's just like hand tie trying to run, doing the wholesale. And I got my little social media going, and that's already got me going, man. So, dude, machine gun, bro. So now, see, the thing is, that's what I'm sharing with you guys. If you guys have anything real estate related, Steve is a one-stop shop. You guys looking for a title company to close your transaction, he's the guy. You guys looking for a buyer, he buys and flip properties. You guys look to wholesale your deal. I mean, Steve been in the business for a long time, so he is going to have some buyer for you, man. Come on. Absolutely. And the thing is, I'm excited to bring on Steve because I'm thinking like these are the kind of like guests that I want to start to bring on, right? Not just guests that brings on and show and talking about, how you guys can wholesale, but maybe bring on guests that are also can be your potential buyers and can help you find buyers for your deals. So Steve, I mean, talk about your little app a little bit because I didn't really, I do want to know about that a little bit. Right now in Phoenix, we get put onto all these different email lists because all these wholesalers are buying lists, right? Like of agents. And so they'll add us to a list. They'll text us deals. So they'll send us deals by emails. They'll send us deals by text. And what happens a lot is if it's mostly junk, it's mostly crap. They don't know how to price a property. But every once in a while, there's a good deal, and I'll miss it because let's say I'm looking to buy something in Chandler. How many emails do I got to sift through to find that deal in Chandler? So we took this idea of let's create an MLS for wholesale. And so that's what the app is. Right now, you put a property. It's like you got the address, you got the zip code, you got the bedrooms, baths, photos, pool, garage, whatever. Basically, everything you would do as an agent to put in MLS, not everything, but like the meatiest part of it, and we put that in the app. And so that way, you can create your own buyers list. You're leveraging the buyers list. We got over 500 people using that app in any given month. So, and we're trying to grow that. So we just want to create one more resource to give value for the wholesale community and just change the way it's done. So Real Estate Disruptors, that's the name that we came up with for our show, but we legitimately are trying to change the game. Love it, man. So now, Steve, how do people get the app, dude, or sign up for app? Is it free?
It's free. It's free. It's in the App Store. It's in the Google Play Store. It's free. Everything you see in there today will always be free. In there, you can do searches. We are going to start charging in a couple of months, but the things we're going to charge for, like everything in there now that you can use, will always be free. The things we're going to charge for is like if you say, I only want to see 3 bedrooms in Chandler and I don't want to see anything else, then for that's going to be a charge, but you're going to get a push notification. So if someone puts a property in there that's a 3-bedroom in Chandler, then you'll get the push notification. So if you want push notifications for your specific criteria, for your specific buy box, that's what we're going to charge for a premium. But besides that, everything else is always going to be free. You can always search. You can always upload. As a seller, there's no cost to use the app.
And so what's the name of the app?
OfferFast Homes, OFFERFST. That's one word, and then Homes.
Gotcha. Awesome, man. All right, now, Steve, let's jump in, dude. So you're finding your motivated seller lead from one lead source is cold calling.
Cold calling. I mean, there's also relationships. So one of the benefits of doing the show is I get to connect with all the best players in town. And a lot of the people that have been on the show I was already connected with them in one companionships. So I was able to leverage that platform to grow more relationships. So I know almost all the biggest players in town. And I recently joined Sandler. That's, if some of you guys have been watching my stuff, that's where all the Homevestors guys go to train. So I went in there, and now I'm friends with all the Homevestors guys. So all the We Buy Ugly Houses guys, I'm another outlet for them. So they got a deal. I'm one more buyer for them. And if you guys are looking for deals, that's another thing I would do. I would go to wherever they're training. Go find out where they're hanging out and go hang out with them. And that's put money in my pocket for sure.
And where are you hanging out, Steve?
So I'm actually in there right now. So I had the class today was from 8 to 9:30. So we scheduled this thing at 10. So I just talked to the coach like, hey, can I just use your conference room from 10 to 11? So I'm actually in Sandler right now in Scottsdale.
And so is it free to join, or does it cost money to join?
No, it is not free, but you'll make that money back quick. So for me, I had to pay $10,500 upfront, right? And that's for a year. But I made that back on my first deal. I made $20,000 on a deal from one of the Homevestors guys in here. So I already paid for 2 years, and I've done more deals since then.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, okay. So beside networking, you're just mainly cold calling, right, Steve?
Yeah, it's just cold calling, and that's it. It's having we've got 3 full-time callers right now, and that's changed. We started with 1, then we got to 3, and then we got up to 8, and then now we're back to 3. And there was a lot of tough conversations. There were a lot of, hey, Khang, remember when you first signed on, we agreed these are the expectations. Was there any misunderstanding about the expectations? No, not really. Okay. So is there anything I can do to help you get to the required dial time? No. And after that 3rd conversation, they just weed themselves out. So now we're back to 3.
Gotcha. Okay. So now you got 3 people cold calling full time. And what list are you cold calling?
So we're calling pre-foreclosures, tax defaults, code violations, multifamily, out-of-state absentee. We haven't called divorces yet. We haven't really tried calling probate. I think we called that list once. We should do a better job of calling that list. But those are 2 lists that are totally there. But with what we got going on right now, we don't have enough manpower to hit up all of the lists.
Okay.
Oh, and recently we recently just bought every homeowner's information in the entire Maricopa County.
Nice, man.
So our guy's gonna be busy for a long time.
Man, so with everything that you just named, Steve, where do you go and get the list, or how do you get the list?
So for tax defaults, it's Repo Gateway. For code violations, it's the city. And then for pre-foreclosure, we use Property Radar, but I'm licensed. We could also use Monsoon, but it was just easier just to use Property Radar. What else was there? High equity out of state, that's Property Radar. And what was the other list I said?
Code violation.
Code violations, the city.
Okay. Tax default.
And we just go to the city. Tax defaults, Repo Gateway. Oh, and then probate is successors data. So we're paying for the probate data. We just haven't been calling it.
And who are you using for probate?
Successors data.
Are they pretty good?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know because we haven't done a good job calling it. That's what everyone else uses, though. Like I know that's the gold standard in Phoenix. And so a lot of these lists may be good or not good depending on your market. I know in our market, this is what the big players are using.
Okay. So what is your expectation with your employee?
So we've been telling them 10 hours, but we recently just raised it to 20 hours. So that was a conversation that my partner Max had with him yesterday. But for us, it was 10 hours, and there's 10 hours of dial time. So 10 hours of dial time plus training, plus role playing, plus being in accountability meetings, right? But it's just black and white. Like if in Mojo, it doesn't say 10 hours, what's going on, right? And you can only have that conversation 3 times. So the first time, okay, sorry about it, I feel bad. Second time, hey, what can I do to help you? Third time, hey, We went ahead and changed the passwords. It's not personal. It was like the expectations were clear. If someone said to me once, like if you fire them and they didn't know it was coming, that's your fault. But here, it's pretty obvious, and it could be 3 weeks in a row. Like, it's not like a really long leash. And I want everyone to succeed. I want everyone to be successful. At the same time, you have to want it too, and I can't sit here and wait.
Agree, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, Steve, 10 hours, that 10 hour a day?
No, that's a week.
Okay. So 10 hours a week of call time.
Yeah. So that's what it's been. We recently raised it to 20, and we're going to bump the compensation to account for that. So anyone that starts with us new has to be 20 hours, but anyone that's existing with us, we're going to allow them to stay with the 10, but we're going to incentivize them to commit to the 20 by giving them a larger percentage of the cut.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and they all on commission?
All on commission.
Okay. And, okay. So they're all on commission.
No salary. No salary. This is, you eat what you kill. That's the way it goes. You know, if you can't do sales yet, then you can't do sales yet. And that's one of the reasons why we did 10 hours was like, you know, there were some people transitioning from their other job and they want to kind of get their feet wet. And that was our standard when we started. That's no longer an acceptable standard today. You got to be all in or all out.
Gotcha. So now, are they working from home or do they go to the office?
Both. And we give them that flexibility. They have to be in the office for trainings. They have to be in the office for the meetings. But as far as dial time goes, as long as it shows that you're dialing in Mojo, that's the black and white. That's the unacceptable. You can't miss this, right? Like if you can't make it to the training because you're in a show, you're in a seller appointment, I get it. If mom's sick and you can't make it to role play, I get it, right? But 10 hours is 10 hours.
Yeah.
Like you can't, there's no reason why you couldn't do 10 hours.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So, and what is the conversion rate on it? Like how many calls on an average, just roughly, how many calls on an average for a person to get a deal?
That's a great question. You know, that's a metric we actually started tracking, or we decided in 2019. So I won't make any excuses. Our tracking has been pretty bad. So we actually just this past Monday put in all the metrics we want to start tracking. That's one of the metrics we want to start tracking.
Gotcha.
It's pretty embarrassing, but we made money last year, and we want to do better. We have big goals and aspirations for this year, but we didn't track that metric, and that's something we want to track.
Okay. That's cool, man. So, so my next question for you now is that I know that, so you guys don't do it virtually, right, Steve? You guys actually, so when they lock an appointment, Max is the one that goes out to all the appointment?
Yeah, except for out of state. If they're out of state, we'll lock it up over the phone. But if it's in state, we're going. Okay.
And could you share with, could you share with everybody your techniques of how you, basically in your area, you know, Steve and I did a quick live interview on IG, you guys. And I know that Max, or I know that Steve goes out there and he does it a little bit differently because it's very competitive in his market. So how are you offering the seller and how are you locking these deals up on a contract, Steve?
Well, so what we explained before was that if you look at our market, this is, if it's not most competitive, then it's top 3 in the whole country, right? I mean, every freaking guru is out here. You can't throw a rock without hitting a guru out here, right? So, so for us, we know that our technology is not the best. We know that we don't have necessarily the best, you know, scripts, callers, whatever, because we're still new, right? I mean, we're not even a year in yet. So we're totally content to having Carlos Sal or Jared or some of these other guys lock up these deals over the phone, take the low hanging fruit. They'll get there before us, right? On our speed to lead. But for us, we're going to stool the second layer of fruit in the trees. And that's our business model, is that we're willing to work a little harder to get the less hanging fruit because we're content with eating, you know, 6-8 wholesale deals a month. We don't need to get to 10 quick. We have the resources. We have enough time and bandwidth today to meet with every seller.
Gotcha. Okay. And the thing is, I know that when you go out to meet with the sellers, you pretty much do give them like a once you make an offer, Steve, you give them a non-refundable and
Oh yeah. So there's to stand out again because it's so competitive. We do a non-refundable earnest. So we want to shoot for 1 to 3,000. We've done 5. We've done 10. We closed one in December. The guy's like, I need 10,000 non-refundable, or I'm not signing. So done, right? And I know that there's a lot of coaching out there that says $10, and for me, it's an integrity situation. If I tell you that I'm going to buy your house, I'm going to buy your house. I think one of the worst things you can do to homeowner is to lock a deal up and then try to move the property. And when you can't move it, you can't perform. So I think if you make it the homeowner, you looked him in the eye, you shook his hand, and you signed a contract, you're in. And so I think for me, I've always been a handshake guy. I'm not a contract guy. I hate contracts, right? But we need it because we're the most litigious country in the world. But for me, I'm a handshake guy. So I have backed away my entire career only from 2 deals. One, I told the guy, like, look, I can't see what's going on. This house is obviously in disrepair. Let me get an inspection. And that house needed new plumbing, electrical, roofing, and AC. I was like, look, I want to buy it. I can't. So that one I canceled, but I told them up front I was going to get an inspection. Another one, I did a $1,500 earnest money. And not only did I let her keep the earnest money, I gave her another $500 because she put a $2,000 security deposit on another rental. So she lost $2,000. So I said, you know what? That $1,500 wasn't even enough. Let me give you another $500. And we canceled because I didn't know about the power lines. One of my agents went out there, didn't know about the power lines. When I went out to go do a second look, it's like, holy shit, why are there power lines in the backyard? This number no longer makes sense. So besides those 2, I have assigned or closed every other deal besides those 2. So I think the non-refundable earnest, the other thing we tell them is that we're the buyer, so that we will close. You know, if we can't move it, and we'll tell them we may try to sell it. We may try to make a profit before close. We'll tell that up front. But either way, it's a done deal. There's no chance whatsoever. And They want that certainty, right? When they're taking a cash offer, there's urgency. There's a need. They didn't pick you because they want a top dollar. They'll pick you because they want a certainty. And I think as far as integrity goes, you got to deliver on that. You can't have it both ways. You can't try to get it cheap without giving them certainty.
Respect, dude. Respect. So now, Steve, let's get into cash buyer.
Yeah.
So what are some ways that you are building up your cash buyers?
So I would say relationships. I think also being a real estate broker, I have a lot of investors says, I want deals. The problem is their criteria is often unrealistic. So they'll tell me like, hey, Steve, I'm trying to buy something for 70% of market value minus repairs, or 65% of market value minus repairs. Like, that's great. Why would I send it to you when I would buy that myself? But being a broker, we do have some relationships. We do have clients that have money in the past. And I think just knowing a lot of people, the relationship aspect is how we built the cash buyers list. And we only have to call a few people. And also, going back to the app, I've sold multiple properties within the app. I'll just post it in the app, and then someone will send me a message like, hey, will you take this? And we'll just come to terms in the app and then document it outside the app.
Nice, man. Okay. So basically, Steve, you are building your cash buyer all on relationship.
Yeah.
Networking.
Yeah. We're not skip tracing. I know there are a lot of people that will like pull up all the LLCs and skip trace and go through mission. We're not doing any of that. And could we be leaving money on the table? Sure. But I think that the relationship is more crucial than I don't need to make an extra 3,000 or 5,000. For me, making the most on it is not a priority. I believe leaving enough meat on the bone to move it quick, to have a happy client. And when I'm saying the cash client, I'm talking about the cash buyer. Like, to have a happy client that'll come back to you, I think is way more important than squeezing every last dime. And there's just 2 different schools of thought. There's the transactional philosophy, try to get the most out of every single one. Who cares if the guy can't make any money on that deal later on? That's not your problem. Or having happy people that'll come back to you. I'm more of the philosophy of happy people that come back to you.
Awesome, man. So, So you guys, I've got Steve to share with you guys. You know, his seller leads, where he finds, how he got it, his cash buyers, kind of his a little bit about his systems already. Now, what I want to get into, because I get people ask this, um, all the all the time, is that when they are getting started, Steve, and a lot of them are doing cold calling. How do you guys start
Yeah.
your cold calling? Could you give some tips?
Yeah.
Cold
So
calling?
there's a couple things. I think going back to what I was saying earlier, Sandler training. So we've taken a lot of other people's scripts and we've applied what we've learned from Sandler to our scripts. But it's a conversation between you and the homeowner. It's the amount of people that will tell you to F off is not as bad as you think, right? So you'll get a lot of hangups, right? But you're not going to get a lot of F offs. And for us, we think it's kind of funny every time we get this. We actually play for each other. So I think it's just going in there and talking to them from a position of service, right? If you go in there with the heart of a servant, you're going to have a much better chance of connecting with them than trying to grind through as many as you can, trying to find that guy that will take a cash offer. It's, hey, Khang, this is Steve. And you'll say, like, hey, I'm just calling you because we're looking to buy some homes in the area. We saw your home. Have you thought about considering a cash offer for your property on blah, 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 blah. And he said, well, maybe. And he said, and if you ask that, okay, so we're helping homeowners that are looking to get a cash offer quick, are facing a certain distress, or want certainty on their home. My guess is none of those would apply to you. And he said, oh, no, one of those apply to me. Okay, then we'll continue on to the conversation. But it's very quick. If they say, interesting, great. We move on to the next guy. But you're not getting an F off. You're not going to go to hell. If you're in the area, I'm looking to buy some homes. Have you thought about getting a cash offer for your home? And if they say no, the conversation is over. So we kind of lead into it a little softer, so that we can have them we'll steer the conversation. They get to talk more.
Gotcha. Okay. And then Steve, how do you guys set your follow up?
Well, we try to close to the appointment right away. So again, we're not trying to buy over the phone. So we don't qualify for price. So if they're telling us that they do have a deadline, they have an urgency, or they get whatever, and like if they have a foreclosure, like we know they got the foreclosure, right? So if we have pain, then we will go. We don't qualify on price. We ask them what they're looking to get, what they're hoping to get. But if they qualify on price, well, we don't qualify on price, we just qualify on pain. And what I mean by that is because from our experience, we've had homeowners that say, oh my goodness, I need a cash offer. I need cash right now. I got this, and this. And you go in there, like they sounded motivated on the phone. You go there, it's like, yeah, but I need 30,000 over what Zillow says. Like, that's not a good lead, right? But you don't know that until you go. Likewise, I've had people say, I'm not in any rush. I'm just curious what my home is, and then we'll buy that house. So people will lie to you on the phone, not to be jerks, but they're trying to protect themselves, right? Like they don't want to. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. We walk into, Macy's, whatever. Can I help you? No, I'm just looking. We lie. That's the way it is. And so for us, we don't qualify on price because what they tell us on the phone is not necessarily what they want.
So so Steve, you're telling me if they call in, if there is
we call out. Remember, we call out.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. So you guys call out. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm sorry, man. So you guys call out, and if there's any sense of motivation or if they're just willing to go through your questionnaire, then you will go to the appointment, no matter what.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as there's pain, right? If it sounds like a total tire kicker, like we're not going.
Okay.
But if there's any kind of motivation, absolutely we'll go. You got to remember, I wear two hats. I'm a wholesaler and a real estate broker. So it may not be a cash transaction, but it could certainly be a listing.
Makes sense. So now when you go out to those appointments, if you don't get on a contract, do you set follow up?
Yeah, so we set follow-ups, but I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't say our follow-up game is particularly strong at the moment, and that's the holes we want to work on for 2019. Something I heard from Carlos and Sal and Alex Science is that they've got one person dedicated for follow-up. That's the lead manager. That's the nurturer. That's the one that will keep following up. So we don't have a strong follow-up game right now. We're still building it out. I'm happy with where we are, but I also know we could do a lot better.
Awesome, man. I love it, dude. I love it. You know, so Steve, I mean, let's wrap it up, dude. How can people get a hold of you? How can they check you out? Because I know you're all over the place.
Yeah. So I would say the best way to get a hold of me these days is Instagram. You know, so just Instagram /Steve.Trang. You know, it's funny. I think we're one of the reasons why this happens, but I don't answer a lot of phone numbers I don't recognize because it's probably a cold caller. So phone's not great. Texting's not great. Email is the worst. So Instagram, I do my best. You know, Gary Vee says it's what's the word I'm looking for? Arrogant. Gary Vee says it's arrogant to not respond to your audience. So as long as you can, if you got to stay up to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, respond to your audience. And for me, Instagram, that's where you'll find me the most responsive. People message me on Facebook. Unfortunately, even Facebook is kind of a little overwhelming, but Instagram, I am there probably way more than I should.
Dude, I gotta admit, dude, I'm not as good on replying back to people on comments. So for those of you who DM me and say, "Khang, check your DM," dude, come on, man. I'm sorry, dude. Give me a break, man. But I actually have somebody actually help me out a little bit with my social media. I think I need to start getting them on like doing like it full time because I'm not good.
Yeah.
So
it's hard. I mean, I try to go back and comment as much as I can. You know, I try to say thank you as much as I can, but it gets overwhelming, and I don't have as many followers as you.
So. No, come on, man. So, Steve, I know that on Instagram, I'll make sure I put it all in the description, you guys, and then YouTube channel. I know you also got a YouTube channel, bro.
Yeah, so you just do a search for Real Estate Disruptors. We got the best. Khang is going to be on there one day. We don't know when. I'm going to fly him out here so we can go vest shopping together. But Real Estate Disruptors, you're going to see lots of good content out there, and it's all free. And it's all like, like you, I have this comfort I create in people where they're totally open and sharing. So, questions that if you were to DM them and ask them this question, they would never ask you that. They would never answer that question for you. But if I post that this person is coming, I will ask them that question, and there's more than likely they'll answer it. So that's I get to be the connector for the community.
Yep, that's right, man. It's so. You know what? I have people ask me, Steve, I haven't done any, I bring people onto the channel, but I haven't gotten on anybody's channel to do an interview yet because you know why? I'm saving that special day for you, bro.
Well, we might do it in Dallas. I was talking to Max, he might set up a studio for us. So. Oh,
really?
He's talked about it. We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, man. For me, dude, I like it raw, bro. We can do it on the corner streets. We can do it at a stop sign.
Yeah, we just gotta get good enough equipment where it won't be too loud.
Yep, awesome. Now, Steve, for those that are just recently get started, what are some tips? What are some advice that you can give them?
So there's two things. There's YouTube University, which a lot of people scoff at, but there's a lot of free information. Watching your show, following you on Instagram, watching my show, I think there's a lot of good information out there, and that will give you like 80-85% of what you need to know. The rest of it is just freaking do it. You got to take action because you don't know what you don't know, and there's that sage wisdom that when the student is ready, the master will appear. There's stuff that we'll say on YouTube that doesn't make any goddamn sense today. If you watch it again later on, it will make sense. And then also when you have that opportunity, whether it's me, whether it's Khang, whether it's someone else, you can ask a question that's specific to your situation that you won't be able to learn if you're not doing.
Hands down, agree, man. Hands down, agree. All right, hey, you guys, I'm just going to wrap this up. For those of you who are new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed already, come on, man, smash that subscribe button. One of my goals for the YouTube channel is to take it to 100K subscriber by the end of 2019. But, dude, right now, man.
You're going to do it.
Finger crossed, we're shooting for the moon, but you know what? I figure, you know what? Why limit my wholesale to million family, bro? I was thinking, you know what? Right now I'm growing about, here I am. I'm going to brag a little bit. So right now,
go for it.
Yeah, man. Right now we're growing about 100 new or 1,000 new subscriber every 2 weeks. So when I do my math, by the end of 2019, I was like, you know what, Khang, let's set a goal for 50,000. I was like, dude, man, why am I setting a goal that I know that I can already get? There is no motivation in that. Like it doesn't drive you, right? So I said, you know what? Let's take it up a notch. Let's go 100. Let's do 100K. So for those of you who wants to help me, who wants to grow this family, come on, smash the subscribe button. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, hit me up on IG. Go to Khang, Khang, dot like a period, WTM. And you guys, Steve, I want to say thank you so much, man, for taking your precious time out of your day to do this with me.
Well, hang on. Before you finish, I want to say it's not just enough for them to subscribe. Well, hang on. It's not enough for them to subscribe. You guys can't just subscribe to Khang, right? He's giving out value for free. Share it. Share it to your friends. Post it on your IG. Post it on your Facebook, right? Share Khang's message. The best way to pay him back is to help him hit his goal.
Oh, man. I love that. And the thing is, you guys, also, too, is I hope you get something out of this, but not just – you guys got to understand, whatever Steve just said, man, it's not just about gathering and collecting information. Just find one piece. Don't do a bunch. Just one piece from this interview and just go and take action on it. Try it and see if it works for you. And if it doesn't, then you know that, hey, you need to make changes. If you don't make a move, you're spending in one spot, then how do you know that you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing? So just make a move, man.
Absolutely.
Steve, want to say thank you so much, man. Have a great rest of your day, bro.
All right. Thank you for having me.